Dr. Zweli Mkhize, who's the COGTA portfolio chairperson in Parliament there, that committee, of course, as he leads it. Good evening to you, Dr. Mkhize, and thank you so much for your time. This, of course, must be a shock to you. This is somebody you would have worked with within the ANC.
Yes, we are certainly very shocked and saddened to hear about the passing of former Deputy President. Of course, we have not been hearing much from him for a while. We just realize now that he has been really quite unwell. But we want to convey our condolences to the family, particularly who have lost a father, a grandfather. But we also wish to convey condolences to all the comrades and all the people of South Africa who worked with him and he served. He was a really hard-working leader who tried his best for the people of South Africa, especially those in Mpumalanga when he was a premier. So he's a man, we've lost a man who really took his work seriously and tried to do everything he could for all our people.
And lots is being said, of course, in the political domain about, his political career. You think about his contribution, as some have called it, in the province of Mpumalanga through his premiership and his chairmanship. But at the same time, you then look at some who speak about, like we just heard now, the Al-Jama leader, Kharif Hendrik, speaks about the fact that he would have played a critical role to some people getting homes, particularly in the Western Cape. But what are some of those moments that are not spoken about in the public domain as far as he is concerned?
Well, the first thing I think is that he is a man who tried to, make a difference in the lives of people. So in the area of Mpumalanga, he tried to do everything to make people feel that the government was responding to them, going all out there, pushing his teams on service delivery, the issues of housing, the issues of agriculture. I know, for example, he took one issue of education very seriously, going all out to create boarding schools or schools in the farms, where he put together many schools and then helped the children to get the topmost of education, broke down all those mud houses of farm schools. And so it's one of the legacies that you can still see in Mpumalanga. He tried to do his very best to promote education at that level. When he was the deputy president, I worked with him very closely when he was doing AIDS, what we call SANAC, which is the AIDS Council. And here he took his work very seriously, went through all the various stakeholders to make sure that their words, their voices were heard, making sure that their concerns were addressed by government, and taking the work very seriously. And it made work in the Department of Health and Social Development much easier, because he was a real champion in the fight against HIV and AIDS as a deputy president and leader of SANAC.
For you, any personal reflections on your relationship?
Well, we worked with him for a long time. I can just tell you that mainly in the party, we worked a lot in the lead up to the very conference of Polokwane, sitting together there, trying to mobilize branches and everything to make a difference when we came to the conference. He worked very hard. He actually took people seriously. He went all out to talk to people, and he would network quite widely. And he had his own approach to the politics, and that's why he would sometimes be called the cat, because he would work quietly, and by the time you see, then you realize that he has really been quite effective. And people thought, well, maybe he would have lost the election in a particular position. But then when he comes up, and then they say, of course, his name of calling him a cat with many lives came out from there. So it was always fun working with him on the political side. We have lost someone really who loved the people of South Africa. who loved working and serving our people, who also loved his organization, the African National Congress.
And just before I let you go, there is, of course, another matter that I would like to talk to you about, and this is the death and the killing, senseless killing of the senior auditor at the Ekurhuleni municipality, Mpho Mafole. A lot of concern even around, whistleblowers, around, auditors who are getting into the books in some of these municipalities and then having to face such dangers to their lives. What are you doing as a portfolio committee to ensure that these individuals are actually protected and we do not see yet another killing of this nature?
Well, first let's convey our condolences to the family and the colleagues who worked with him. It's a very sad loss, and it's really a tragic loss of a professional, of someone who was really in the forefront in the fight against corruption. The skills of becoming a forensic investigator are very, very special skills which we need increasingly as we move forward if we have to uproot corruptions. It is therefore sad to see that some people who have such skills are exposed to this kind of risk, as we have seen just with Mr. Mafole. It's also been of concern that many such cases are arising where you hear of people who are whistleblowers or people who are involved in the investigations on these issues of corruption and maladministration getting attacked and then losing their lives. So we are calling on government, particularly the criminal justice system, to take extra effort to protect whistleblowers and people who are in the forefront of the fight against corruption, those who are in forensic investigations, and those who are involved in the tracking of some of the criminals, the cartels that are involved in corruption, particularly as it affects government departments, state enterprises. We believe, therefore, that a lot of work has to be done to protect them, by also just ensuring that there's a good coordination, because it is often possible to pick up where there's a risk. Sometimes those who are investigating in the criminal justice system will know that certain people in particular departments may be at risk because of the evidence that they carry. There's also a concern that you must also watch out for, where there might be unscrupulous members in the criminal justice system who might then leak information to those who are being investigated. Then they know who to target. All of these are matters of concern to us.
Dr. Mkhize, I appreciate your time this evening. Thank you so much for talking to us.